Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. Today is my college football preview. The Florida Gators taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. If you like the video today, please comment and share it. I surely appreciate it here at 100 Yards Football. Special thanks to my producer, Mr. Logan Landers, for making it happen for me this morning here on 100 Yards Football. Florida, Tennessee, big SEC matchup. Both teams highly ranked. So, I'm going to start with the Florida Gators. The first week, we thought the Gators were going to be outstanding. Even me. I thought Anthony Richardson was the second coming of Michael Vick. Had an outstanding game against Utah. But since then, he just struggled the last two games. Against Kentucky, didn't play very well. Against South Florida last week and didn't play very well. On the season, Mr. Richardson's thrown 4 interceptions, 255 yards, only 4 touchdowns. 24-53. When you look at the Florida Gators, and let's be honest, Billy Napier's first year is going to be about all how Anthony Richardson performs at a high level. Plain and simple. If Anthony Richardson doesn't play well, the Gators are going to struggle offensively. Their running game is stacked this year. Montrell Johnson, the transfer coming over from Louisiana with Billy Napier, 105 yards on the year, averaging almost 6 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne, baby brother, he has 56 yards on the year, averaging 6.6 yards a carry, 1 touchdown. Their defense is playing at a high level, But last week against South Florida, they allowed 286 yards rushing, 6 yards a pop. There's our concerns. But they do have good players on the defensive side of the ball. Gavon Dexter is an NFL draft prospect. Brendan Cox is an NFL draft prospect. Amari Burnett is an NFL prospect. And Trey Dean III is an NFL prospect. But for the Gators, going forward, it's all about Anthony Richardson, man. Bottom line, the Gator Nation. He has to play well starting this Saturday against Tennessee if the Gators are going to have an outstanding season this year. Now, let's go over to Tennessee. Rocky Top, Dolly Parton, Kenny Chesley, the state with 6 million people. Are the glory days back? Thank you, Josh Hypo. Hendon Hooker. Boy. When you're talking about a guy that's came and restored the program, the Volunteers are now one of the top programs in the country based on Josh Hypo and their high-powered offense. Mr. Hooker. Think about this. Hendon Hooker, this year, he's a 6-year player, 844 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate. See, it's games like this on Saturday that winners are born, champions are born, legacies are born. And when I think about Hendon Hooker, let me take the stats again. Through the games this season, 3 games of Volunteers, he's got 844 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's on Broadway, man. And then think about the receiving core he has. Jalen Hyatt averaging 14 yards a catch. Cedric Tillman, NFL talent, 14 yards a catch. And Brew McCoy, remember that name? Highly recruit coming out of USC some years ago. Now he's added that firepower, that smoke to the Tennessee's offense. He's averaging 13 yards a pop. But what makes Tennessee really good offensively is their offensive line, brother. Gerald Mincey, Daniel Wright, Cooper Mays, Antonio Spraggs. This is one of the top offensive lines in the country, and that's why the Volunteers right now riding high, ranked number 11. Defensively, I don't have to say no more. When you look at it, Trayvon Flowers, the senior, 5th-year guy from Tucker High School, is leading the way for the Volunteers. But it's been that offense this year that's made me so proud of the Tennessee Volunteers. 52 points a game, 156 points so far this year. Total offense averaging 561 yards a game. As I told you, and I've been saying weeks, when I think about Hendon Hooker, I think about that 85 Tennessee team. Tony Robinson, Tim McGee, Eric Swanson, Joey Clinkscale. Think about the game that came out against UCLA, ended in a 26-26 tie. But think about when Tony Robinson made this cover of Sports Illustrated when they beat number 1 ranked Auburn 38-20. Think about them days. Hendon Hooker is the Poor man special, Tony Robinson. And before I end the video today, this game has much impact as the 98 game. The 1998 game. Let me repeat that again. The 1998 game. Because that's when Tennessee broke through and won their first BCS national championship. And hopefully they can get back on the Lord. Remember that game Saturday night? That Tennessee team, T. Martin, Chad Clifton, Peerless Price, Jamal Lewis, Dwayne Goodrich, Al Wilson from Jackson, Tennessee, Rashad Thompson from New Orleans. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then the 85 team, let me throw in Charles Davis, Tommy Sims, Dale Jones, Tim McGee, as I mentioned, Dale Dickey. And going back to that 98 game, as Tennessee won that game 20-17, let me throw in Darren Walker. That was a good Florida team that they beat. That's when the Volunteers broke through. That Florida team had Jesse Palmer, Doug Johnson, Terry Jackson, Javon Curse, Johnny Rutledge, Tony George. When you go back on Saturday, national television, CBS, 3:30, the boats are going to be out on the Tennessee River. Neyland Stadium is going to be rocking. SRVs is going to be down on Kingston Pike. It's restoring. It's history. It's Tennessee. Josh Heupel, thank you. Otto Vols are back. Hendon Hooker, this is your Heisman Trophy game. Anthony Richardson, you can get back in the mix. The bottom line to the game on Saturday, as I just broke down these two great teams, which quarterback plays the best on Saturday? Hendon Hooker is going to answer the bell for Tennessee. But for Florida to stay in the game, it's all about Anthony Richardson. If he goes back like he did Michael Vick, Ghost in game 1 against Utah, it's going to be a very good football game. My final score, Tennessee is going to win 35-21. The Volunteers are going to move on up and beat a team that's going to challenge the Georgia Bulldogs in the SEC East. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. I surely appreciate here on 100 Yards Football. My final words, Dolly Parton, Gatlinburg, Rocky Top, Johnny Majors, Country Charlaway, Peyton Manning, the Big Orange, is it back?